Today I'm going to be going over what Kahoot is and how teachers can integrate it into their classrooms. So what is Kahoot? Kahoot is an interactive quiz game that is typically used by teachers. Teachers can use this for reviewing with their students and also demonstrating their active recall. This can also show teachers what students know as well as what students may be struggling with and how they can help them. So how do you set up a Kahoot? The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the web address kahoot.it, and then you're going to want to click the button that says sign up, or if you already have an existing account, you can click login and input those credentials. Then it is going to pop up with a few different options that you're going to want to select. You're going to want to select the teacher option. So the next screen that it takes you to after selecting that option is a list of different teacher payment plans. The highest payment plan is going to be the one that has the most features for teachers to use. But you can also check with your school district as they may already be paying for a plan. But if they don't, then you can look into this and choose up to your discretion as to which one works best for you. So the next screen that is going to take you to after that is this screen here with a few different buttons. The first one is going to be the create button, where you can create a Kahoot from scratch, you can import a PDF document, all that sort of stuff. And then this button here is also an AI generator, which I feel like is fairly newer. And it can honestly be very helpful to save some time, as you can just input a few keywords, maybe like the lesson plan that you're working on with your students, and then it can easily generate questions for your Kahoot for you. I wouldn't necessarily say that's the best option, however, it can be helpful for some teachers. So this down here at the bottom is a variety of different practice quizzes, and I feel like this is more beneficial for the students as they can use this in terms of studying methods. Like for example, maybe a student is trying to memorize definitions of terms. This can be very helpful in that case. So this last slide here takes us to the variety of different question types that you can choose from in Kahoot. Now, a lot of these have a star next to them, and that indicates that they are under a paywall, so we unfortunately can't use those today. But in my experience, most teachers typically use these two up here, the quiz and the true-false. So that is what we are going to be working with today. So now we're going to go over to the Kahoot that I already started making. It is on U.S. history. There are two different types of questions here, one being the standard quiz question with the 4 options, and then there's also a true or false question here. So, on the right, we have a few different little drop-down bar options, the first one being the one that we showed in the PowerPoint of the different question types. And then the second one here is going to be a time limit. So teachers can change the time limit of the question. So maybe if it's a more complex question, they can make the time limit for their students to answer longer. But today we're just going to leave it on the 20 seconds that is standard. And then there's also a points system that you can switch between. Most teachers keep it on the standard. However, there's also double points or no points that you can change it to. And that's obviously up to your discretion. And then there's another one down here that is unfortunately behind a payment wall if you wanted to do the multi-select. But some teachers can use that if they want to, if maybe it's in like all the above question, something like that, or none of the above. So yeah, there's a few different options there. You can also put in a picture like I did to kind of, get the students thinking a little more visually. So, and then you can click this preview button, and the preview button shows you a teacher view and a student view of how the quiz would work live. So this feature I feel like is definitely very helpful for teachers after making their Kahoot, just to make sure that it would run smoothly in their classroom and that it is clear for their students to understand. and it just plays the whole thing for you. I feel like this is very helpful, and I'm not sure how to show it, but in the end, after, I know on the teacher screen, I've seen it in plenty of my classes, but on the ending screen, after it shows like who won first, second, and third place, teachers can also view like the analytics of the quiz and basically see like what students answered what question each time and how many they got right and how many they got wrong. So I feel like this is very helpful for both students and teachers in terms of review and seeing where students are at academically. And this can be very helpful in the classroom and should be integrated in all teachers' classrooms.